Hello, welcome to the SDGs Lead, a series of conversations with prominent SDGs changemakers worldwide. Today, I am deeply honored and delighted to communicate with Veronika Mudra from Los Angeles, co-founder of the White Ribbon United States and the White Ribbon Ukraine, as well as a TEDx speaker. It should be noted that the White Ribbon Ukraine is the largest in the world male-led initiative to stop the gender-based violence against women. Veronika, thank you so much for joining. It's a really welcome chance.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Veronika, currently you are the policy changer, empowering men and women to stop this mistake in the consciousness of mankind, which is called the gender-based violence and overall violence in all of its forms. So to begin with, how did you come up with the idea of founding these movements and to make this change? How did your path start?
Thank you so much for calling me a policy changer. My TED speech was called From a Victim to a Policy Changer. So I started with my own experience because I immigrated from Ukraine in 2013. Back then, gender-based discrimination and gender-based violence towards women was not on the level of public discourse at all. And I found it really hard to protect my basic human rights over there. So we left Ukraine, and that event led me to an understanding that really a lot of legislation changes are needed in Ukraine in order to achieve better results in women's rights protection, and that's why I basically got in touch with White Ribbon Campaign, because it's a global campaign. It has more than 30 years of experience around the world. It was founded in 1991 in Canada. And my friend from Poland, her name is also Veronika Mudra. She was running White Ribbon in Poland, and she brought White Ribbon to Ukraine in 2014. So she basically handled this nonprofit organization under my management in 2015. She also organized the first largest in Ukraine awareness campaign, privately funded and privately organized. So it was called If You Love, Do Not Hate. It went nationwide in Ukraine for a year, from 2014 to 2015. So it covered all regions of Ukraine. And that really inspired me to do something about it and to give back to the community I live in now in the United States of America and to the country I came from, which is Ukraine. So since that, we established White Ribbon in the US, and currently I'm CEO and a founder of the White Ribbon USA and a former CEO of White Ribbon Ukraine. And we are now about to open other White Ribbons around the world, including Serbia, Singapore, Kazakhstan, and hopefully Uzbekistan.
I've been watching your wonderful TEDx talk, and it's very important that it's highlight your own personal story and how your path had evolved in terms of making this change on the global level and starting very locally. And it's very important that currently all women and men unite, and men are very powerful in terms of stopping this stereotype and a very big mistake in the consciousness of mankind. Could you please share some of your activities and recent developments? As I know, since our last time when we met, there are new developments in terms of very, very interesting and powerful projects. Could you please share some information with our viewers and probably reveal some future plans as well?
Absolutely. So during COVID-19, the domestic violence was recognized as a shadow pandemic. And we found that there are not enough of virtual self-help tools for domestic violence victims. So basically, I'm speaking about mobile applications. We have mobile applications for everything, for walking our dogs, for ordering flowers and food, but we do not have a strong enough application that anyone can use anywhere in case of emergency related to domestic violence. So in 2019 in Ukraine, we announced our plans to develop the first in Ukraine mobile application for domestic violence victims. And 2 years later, we did it. And the application is already available on in App Store and in Google Play, and it's called White Ribbon UA. It's in beta testing mode for now, so I will really appreciate if people will start downloading to try it and send their feedback, their review. So this application is based on a very strong market research that we've done, and we analyzed more than 30 mobile applications of this kind from around the world. And we partnered up with the first in Eastern Europe mobile application that is called ZATAP, is the first application for domestic violence victims that was developed by Evelina Choeva. She lives in the UK, but she is originally from Sofia, Bulgaria, and I was flying into Bulgaria when it was before COVID, of course. I was flying there. I visited the presentation of her startup. It's a great application. So I'm gonna show you, if you will be able to see it from the screen, I'm gonna show you our application. So it was developed in part for Ukraine in partnership with the Tatiana Ramos and Art Ramos brand. We initially developed it. Anyways, probably you will really not see that much.
I see some parts, I see colors, as well as basic shapes of navigation, I think.
Right. So basically, this application has a hidden function. So because abusers often have an access to victims' cell phone or a smartphone, so we hidden this application under the women calendar application. So in order to actually see the actual application, you need to hold here for 3 seconds, and then you actually logging into the application. So it has a lot of function like emergency call button that is linked to will be linked to national police hotline in Ukraine. Then a recording tool that helps to record evidences of abuse that are happening around the victim. It includes audio, video, it includes maybe some text that can be recorded and sent immediately to a emergency contact or to a lawyer or to victim's email. So it's not stored in the phone, it will be stored in the iCloud. So basically, I will not talk much about details yet because we officially did not present it yet. It's still in beta testing mode, and we hope to find partnership in Ukraine to develop it better based on the existing current beta version, and we will be able to present it hopefully soon. We postponed the public presentation due to COVID-19. It was a bit difficult for us to present it in the way that we wanted originally, but we're trying to find solutions and compromises and new collaborations in Ukraine in order to finalize the application and release it for public use.
It's enormously relevant, and to notice that such as evolvement in Ukraine, as previously even gender-based violence wasn't criminalized, and that law criminalizing this kind of offenses was very important revolution, I would say, for democracy, human rights. And now overall, in terms of the lockdown, we can see how these numbers of cases drastically increase. And not only in Ukraine, but worldwide, which is reflected in the reports by the United Nations, Council of Europe. So statistics are just shocking, as well as a reality which is hidden, because we speak about lives, destinies, which urgent measures in this connection do you see as most relevant and vital, and whether there is some regional specifics as it may be?
You mean for Ukraine or US?
You may speak generally or as you wish in this connection.
So because our countries stand on very different levels, so it's hard to speak without a specific connection to a country. So for Ukraine, I would say that Ukraine is making baby steps still in related to domestic violence protection programs. And what I can say that police, the reform that was done in the Ukraine in police is amazing, and they're doing their best in order to respond accordingly to the domestic violence calls. And but we still need to do a lot to train more police officers in regards to the first responses to domestic violence situations. So we have already a system of restraining orders in Ukraine, and it's already a criminal act. So criminal cases can be opened and investigated related regarding domestic violence. What I found was really terrifying is the rate of kidnapping in Ukraine, and kidnapping that often happens between parents, especially by fathers who are using their power to just literally take kids from single mothers. And there is no law that regulates kidnapping that is happening by one of the parents. So this is really an urgent matter in Ukraine that enormously rise during COVID by some reason. So that is the issue that I really think it needs to be solved in Ukraine. If we speak about the United States, I would say that the virtual self-help tools, like a strong mobile application for domestic violence victims, is highly needed. That's why we developed the project. As a CEO of White Ribbon USA, I manage this project now for United States. So we submitted it for evaluation to Melinda Gates initiative, Equality Cannot Wait. And we resubmitted it to Google for their consideration. So we hope to find funding and support of this very important project, because the problem that often victims have is the lack of accommodation. So in my opinion, women specifically with children need to have an application where they can easily find and book a shelter in case of emergency, because it's not an easy process to move out and to be registered and admitted to a shelter in case of emergency. So also initiating first steps online, sometimes it's very important, because often women think that it's such a big deal to get a restraining order or to initiate a process of protection of your own rights. But in fact, it's not that complicated. You just need to make a first step and not to tolerate certain situations that are related to you or especially your children.
Exactly. And what you are doing is so inspiring in terms of how you are building partnerships between different stakeholders. I know that Tatiana Ramos is a fashion branch, business support, also United States government, Ukrainian authorities, diplomats, and you unite NGOs as well. And it's really great because only together we can resolve this issue. No single efforts can make the needed change as of now. You have mentioned in your TEDx speech that unfortunately violence takes both sides. It's like a coin. From the one hand, it's aggressive behavior, and from the other hand, it's a kind of submissive behavior, which may have numerous reasons, not the least stigmatization, financial, or any other kind of dependencies. And there is also somehow lack of trust that these mechanisms of stopping violence would be working, and this shelter, as you mentioned, would be provided, and the basic help for getting sometimes requalification, for entering job places. So how can we break this cycle of silence, which is so often closed?
You're absolutely right that it always takes two for a tango. So when we speak about domestic violence, women should not tolerate abusive behavior. They should know that we need to stand up for our own rights, and nobody will do it for us. From the other side, male engagement in civic society movement against domestic violence is very important, because males can advocate against domestic violence towards women just the same way as we do. So White Ribbon is the largest in the world male initiative. We engage men to stand against domestic violence. And when male audience hears a significant conversations about domestic violence from the side of other men, that is a different way to impact and prevent domestic violence. So that is one of our missions, to engage decision makers, opinion leaders, influencers, celebrities, all men who support our movement against domestic violence and help us to raise an awareness. And I really appreciate that you mentioned the collaboration. It's very important. We cannot do it alone. We are a grassroots-based campaign. We're a civic society movement. So only in collaboration with governmental and non-governmental authorities we can achieve our goals. So I really hope to, for example, in Ukraine, to find a better collaboration, better partnership, for example, for the mobile application, better development and its presentation. By the way, I'm wearing the Art Ramos fashion brand, and except of Tatiana Ramos' support in White Ribbon, as a public figure, she also does the brand collaborations with us. We designed Stop Violence t-shirts for Ukraine together with her fashion brand, and she really supported us, supported our mobile application, basic like coding and development process. So she was very, very helpful. And for the United States, we really do a lot of collaborations with the, for example, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. We just had a great event a few days ago honoring the National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and together with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and National Association of Social Workers, we did this joint White Ribbon VA campaign, and now everyone can join us. Everyone can go on our website, whiteribbonusa.org, and take a virtual White Ribbon pledge. And in response, they will receive a virtual White Ribbon badge as the thank you note.
It's really great to provide such platform for uniting people, authorities, businesses, and other stakeholders. And of course, here you have very beautiful jacket from the viewpoint of fashion, as fashion sets trends. Not the least. And here, the social responsibility of fashion brands plays a vital role in reducing these stereotypes. And over the past years, we can see how this understanding of corporate culture evolves. But unfortunately, still, we are on the way forward. Gender equality and inequalities can be traced in political, economic, social, and other aspects. For instance, the common prejudgments is that the IQ of women are correlated with the opinions. Moreover, gender pay gap and some barriers to enter a specific some kind of man-field profession, though I wouldn't use this word man-field, as I believe it's about humanity, profession for human, indispensable of its man or woman. So from this perspective, how do you think we can eradicate such shameful practices of stereotypes, stigmatization, and offenses?
Well, I think by such collaborations between business and nonprofit organizations, business and civic society movements, because now consumers, especially millennials, when they're buying a product, they want to know that every dollar they spend will have some positive impact on their communities. So the social impact is extremely important for brands, for commercial brands nowadays, and this is one of the routes to raise more awareness about different causes, including domestic violence. That's why I was mentioning collaboration with Art Ramos brand for Ukraine and hopefully for the United States as well soon. There are great showcases of such brand collaborations between White Ribbon in the UK and world famous brands like Yves Saint Laurent, like Brioni, like Perregaux watches, and others. So those brands help us to raise awareness for sure. And from the other side, the implementing gender equality in corporate policies is another very important angle of raising awareness for nonprofits and for civic society movements. So there is a system of specialized trainings and master classes provided by our nonprofits for corporates. So it helps really to improve team building inside the company, but also it helps to raise awareness on the community level between workers, their friends, and families. So only in collaboration we can achieve good results.
It's very noteworthy that the companies run by women or any projects, even in terms of inter-country negotiations, if they're run by women and they're equal in terms of representation, we can more sustainable and more sustained results. So it's very not only a social aspect of equality, but also quite promising strategies that can be applied and win-win strategy. Veronika, thank you so much for such wonderful conversation, for sharing ideas and your recent projects. I'm sure that they would have enormous impacts in Ukraine, United States, as well as other countries, as there is a strong need for such application and for such help to women. We should all unite to untackle these stereotypes on all the levels. And as a final message, to share your motivation with our viewers, change makers worldwide, what would you say to them to inspire to go further against all the odds?
Thank you so much. For example, you are helping to spread awareness right now with your talk show. So I think the more we talk about it on a public level, the more public discourse will happen in the society. And there are no big or small steps when it comes to activism or to raising awareness, because each small step can have and can bring bigger results. That's I was really always, I was believing all my life in this, and that's where I stand right now. So but I want to encourage more people to go online and to spread virtually an awareness about White Ribbon campaign by taking a White Ribbon virtual pledge on our website at www.whiteribbonusa.org. You can also, you will be able from this week to buy, for example, awareness masks against domestic violence, and to get White Ribbon badges on our website, and you can wear them annually during the White Ribbon days, or you can wear it at every occasion, every public occasion, to show that you stand strongly against domestic violence towards women.
Absolutely. Thank you so much once again. Good luck with all your efforts, and it's really impressive and amazing.
Thank you so much.